This is Upping Your Game, the podcast where experts share their strategies with you, your team, or your organization to thrive in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world. I'm Stephen Krempl, and I'm your host. Today we have Rajiv Garg. Rajiv is the Professor of Information Systems and Operations Management at the Emory University School of Business. Rajiv deciphers the digital world, reveals how information spreads, and technology transforms businesses. From blockchain to AR to VR, and today's podcast focusing on AI agents is insight-rich theory and practice, shaping strategies and policies for many organizations. Featured in Forbes and Fortune, he's a sought-after speaker who inspires audiences on the future of tech, work, and innovation. Rajiv, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Stephen. This is a very kind introduction.
No. I actually had two more pages, but I thought I'd stop there. So, anyway, AI agents, as I understand it, supposedly, right, are autonomous systems that perceive their environment, make decisions, then they take action to achieve some specific goal somebody has given them, often using machine learning and reasoning capabilities. Is that kind of accurate there?
Absolutely, you're spot on. So AI agents are essentially programs that can autonomously sense the environment, the data. They create these subtasks like our human minds do. Like if you're given us a project, we're going to break it down into different chunks. It essentially breaks it down into those chunks and deploys smaller programs to do those jobs, pull data, and then take action in the environment.
Wow, unbelievable. I mean, it almost sounds science fiction, but it's not science fiction. It's what's happening today, though, right?
That is so true.
And it's funny. So let me just kind of give you a real quick question about this, how you use that, because this is amazing, right? So how do you envision AI agents transforming how individual entrepreneurs operate and scale their businesses in the next 5 years, though?
So, Stephen, like the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs is essentially resources. The resources, mostly in terms of manpower. If they have somebody who can handle recruiting from them, who can handle all the paperwork, financial reporting, everything, right? They can focus on their innovation, their business development part, which is what they enjoy. Even for business development, they have to cold call, they have to reach out to so many people, find leads, personalize their messaging to those leads. Agents can help with every single thing. So when you ask the businesses in the next 5 years for entrepreneurs how it can help, I would say it's helping them. It has the power to help them now. The agents reduce the barrier of entry into any market right now. If you were to very simply saying that if I were to bake some interesting, better cookies today, I want to market them, I want to sell them as fast as possible, I don't need a team of 10 people helping me with all kinds of logistics and planning, etc. I can focus on baking and I can deploy these agents who are going to start selling these cookies for me in literally every platform. So my entry barriers have gone down significantly. I can go to market much faster at a much lower cost.
Okay, you're talking about cookies and baking. Are there any industries that agents are already making an inroads in? I'm sure you've come across them, or are they just pervasive everywhere?
So they're pervasive everywhere. They can make an impact in almost every industry where there is any task that is repetitive. The one thing to keep in mind is, so when I said repetitive task, it could be also a little bit more complex tasks. They can take care of those as well in any industry. I can't think of, a specific industry where they can't, but the easiest mind is where you have to manage people or where you have to manage funds. This is where, or money. there's going to see a little bit slower adoption because there's the trust issue in these systems or agents.
Yeah. Do you trust the agent to handle your finances or whatever else?
Yes.
Okay.
And ethically and legally, are you, when you're managing people, like you're creating their reports and their the promotions, like, is it ethical at this point? So these are some places where it's going to be slow.
Unbelievable. So for those of you, if you don't want to do recruiting, financial reporting, paperwork, marketing, the whole day, get the damn agents and they'll do it for you, right? All right, so to speak. Okay, so okay, we talked about the small entrepreneur in the next 5 years. For larger organizations, though, so what role does agents play? Because they have a lot of resources, right? But can it drive the innovation, efficiency, decision making at scale, though, right? Because this is,
absolutely
multinationals and stuff. So
yes, and this is where the true power of agents come into play. It is going to augment every human decision. Every employee in every organization is doing something, from coding, like you said, innovation, everything. Agents can play a role to make their work efficient. Now, efficiency is not going to come from day zero, day one, day two. It's you have to start using these systems. They're going to be higher cost in terms of the time taken to essentially train these models, to improve these models. But in a week, in a month, in maybe 2 months, you're going to start every employee who is using an agent personalized for their job, they're going to see improved productivity. They're going to see improved efficiency. They're going to see improved consistency and accuracy in their job. They're going to start getting the free time to do more. So in a large organization, which has so many different business units, so many different kind of jobs, agents could be deployed as a partner for every single job. And they will see an improvement over time, right? But initially, yes, there is a cost involved, which they have to incur. Yes.
So I like the word partner, because then you augment the human decision, and that I think I have work in some of these organizations, and people going, oh my God, they're going to take away our jobs. Actually, it's making your work even better, though, right? You're taking all the mundane stuff that you really don't want to do and give you the critical thinking opportunities, right? So
yes.
Okay, so great. Okay, so it works for entrepreneurs. It definitely works for large organizations, maybe even more effective for large organizations. How can individual entrepreneurs or the small business, let's go back to them, right? The small businesses access and leverage AI agent technology without the resources, like the large corporations? So are there like platforms? How does someone get to that?
I would say start with something very easy to use, like Zapier platform allows you to create visual UI-based workflows for these AI agents. So Zapier. So Zapier, I mean, you create a free account and you say, I want to get some data from Google Sheets, create a document, a report in Google Docs. I want to send it to my the customer, client, vendor, anybody, your employee. It can take care of all of those. You visually create the workflow and off these for the entire agent for different tasks that you want to do, and it will run those tasks autonomously for you forever until you ask it to stop.
Okay,
right?
wait. Let me repeat that again in case maybe I missed it. All right. So those of you listening, so you literally type into Zapier, I need to get information from here. I need to get information from there. I want you put it over here, and in normal language, and it organizes the whole thing for you, though.
Yes, so it has the AI tool. So, or you just drag and drop boxes.
Okay.
Yeah, here is a drag box for documents. Here's a box for Excel sheet. I want to do these things in some sequence. You drag and drop or you type it in, and it's going to start creating a flow for you. And you built an agent. So that's the starting point. Like platforms like Zapier is making these agents more accessible, right? The Anthropic agent, the ChatGPT Orchestrate, like all of these are allowing you to build agents at a very low cost for any individual or small organization. For large
Okay.
organization, there are enterprise solutions as well, like the Google
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
Vertex or Azure. I'm forgetting the name for Azure, but like so Azure, Microsoft Azure also has an agent, which is
Yeah.
the playground for that agent is amazing, which is again drag and drop. You don't need any coding, you don't need any tech skills. You just
Yeah.
need to know what tools you want to use, what environment you want to sense, and you have an agent ready.
Wow. I'm sure there's already a outsourced solution where people are helping other people put all these things together. If the agents helping the agents to build
Yes.
to manage other AI tools. I am sure it's coming to that though, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
it sounds like as individuals in the workforce, right? If you're
Truly,
not
truly.
playing around this space, you're gonna be left behind though, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Okay.
mean, you need to be on it right now. I mean, so all your listeners with the podcast, they're already ahead in being curious about
Yeah.
the AI agent. The next stop is go to one of the platforms and play around with it. Build
Mm,
something to be ahead of the curve because you don't want to be left behind as technology evolves. Like, yes, everything is going to become easier. But if you try something that's available right now, you already are defining what the next technology should have that maybe was not as easy for you right now.
yeah. It's tinker, right? The whole
Yes,
word
yes.
just tinker around this stuff unless you don't have to be perfect at it, but just keep going. So then,
Yeah.
looking ahead, then Rajiv, right? Do you see AI agents fostering collaborations between organizations? Does an AI agent talk to another AI agent, potentially, and then it disrupt the whole traditional competitive dynamics, though? So the companies that really master this might be really ahead of those who don't, all right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, Stephen, one of the things, and this is a research paper we should have coming out this summer, we're talking about essentially how agents will interact with other agents. So, we initially what you started talking about is the agent interacting with human within an
Yeah,
organization.
yeah,
But as we move forward, every organization will have their agent communicate, collaborate with agents for other organizations. Agents for essentially these companies will collaborate with my agent on my device as well. So, for example, like if there is a video that you want to watch, the
yeah,
YouTube agent will essentially then collaborate with my agent, which is my personal agent, which is going to say, Rajiv is not in this mood to watch this right now. This is the
yeah.
kind of content he's focused on. And I'm going to
Oh,
only
wow.
accept your recommendation if it aligns with this right now.
Wait,
Right?
I like this because then this line will change. The old line would be my people will talk to your people. It will
Yes.
change. My agent will talk to your agent. All right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, unbelievable.
And
No more
truly,
my
like,
people.
yes, and the statement, like you said, like
Yeah,
my agent will talk to your agent. It used to be human agents. It's
yeah,
normal, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
but now it's not human, it's AI because AI agents can talk, can make decisions, can take actions moving forward. So that's the future we are entering. But to get
Yes.
there, we need to start with having those agents first for us.
Great. Wow. And I'm assuming here your agents self-learning or learn and they get better and better as they know exactly what you need and they learn from your behavior and everything else, right?
So, a yes and no. So, what you're talking about is essentially the learning
Yeah.
within the agent for a user behavior. So, if it understands me better,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So, the SLMs, the small language models,
mm,
so
mm.
every agent it needs to have some contextual knowledge,
Okay.
contextual awareness. So, they are learning about the humans, about their decisions as part of the contextual awareness. So I don't want to say that these agents are actively learning this thing.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
already embedded. This is a
Okay.
piece of their
Okay.
characteristic, right? This is by default given. So, but that's not their focus. Their
Yeah. Yeah.
focus is whatever decisions agents made, whatever actions these agents took, they're going to learn whether these were right or wrong
Right or wrong.
in those
Okay.
scenarios, right? So that is what's going to make them learn to do better the next
Okay.
time. But the
Wow.
awareness, the behavior changes, the knowledge is going to keep growing in the back end. That's a given thing.
you know, we've all said, that this topic will surely come up because people go, oh my God, Rajiv, are there some ethical and security concerns related to AI agents? And how should anybody or everybody, whether they're entrepreneur or organizations, kind of address these issues, though, right?
Yeah. So one of the easiest way I explain this is to think about Tesla car. If the
Yep.
car makes a mistake, you're in self-driving mode,
Yep.
who is liable? Is it the
Yeah.
Tesla as a company, the government that allowed the car to be on the road, or you
Yeah.
as a driver, or the insurance
Yeah.
company, right? What has happened is it's a driver who is liable in all these scenarios because they did not pay attention. This is where human over the loop of the AI loop is going to be
Mm.
dominant, where if you are using an agent to simplify your job, to do
Yep.
things better, to do more things, right? Self-driving car is essentially making my job
Yep.
easier
Yep.
that I don't have to pay attention. The same
Yep.
agent now is doing part of your job. So you are the person overseeing that
Yeah.
agent. As a result, you are responsible of any mistakes that's made. This is
Yeah.
where we need to keep testing,
Uh,
keep auditing, keep the human on the loop to make sure it is performing the way it's expected to, right?
Well, you're the manager or you're the team lead, so to
Correct,
speak,
correct.
right? Yeah, the
Yes,
leader, the buck has to stop somewhere, right? So it can't be.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
so have people? Will it ever come to a time where there's an over reliance on agents, or it you don't see that?
So I think we are going to be over relying on agents at some point. So which is where it's the systems are going to become more autonomous. So think about like once you start loving the cruise control, autopilot,
Yeah,
or
I
self-driving in
know.
cars, you
Yeah,
can't live without them.
yeah,
The
yeah,
same
exactly,
thing,
right?
if I build an agent, I mean, think about if I'm an HR person who is screening candidates. I'm like, for any job you post right now online, you're going
Mm,
to get 800 resumes on an average
yeah,
for the
right.
job. If you're
Yeah,
getting 700 resumes, there's no way as a human I'm going to go through every single resume to make
yeah, yeah,
decisions, right?
yeah, yeah,
Tried building the same agent in Zapier, like the platform I was
yeah,
saying. It took me 2 minutes to build an agent that scans through all the resumes and finds me the best candidate for the job, right?
and now I
So
take
I'm
over. Yeah,
Yes, so now I'm going to rely on these agents more and
right.
more. And
Yeah,
so these agents can then essentially identify the best candidate. They will coordinate a screening call with them automatically. And they will, after screening, they'll give me, here is the best candidate for you to interview for this specific role. So my job is so much easier. I can
yeah,
anytime, without thinking too much, keep posting any job posting,
yeah,
and I will interview. I'll get two or three pre-screened candidates
yeah,
automatically by the system
yeah.
that I need to interview.
Based
My
based on
effort,
your criteria
yes,
you chose,
yes,
then yeah.
yes. So it made our life easier. So we are going to rely on agents
Okay.
significantly over time.
Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard the good news or the bad news, you better be reliant on agents. First thing, you better be tinker around with agents and figure
Yes.
out because your agent's going to be talking to my agent very soon, and if you don't have an agent, you're dead. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rajiv, if there's anywhere, you mentioned Zapier and stuff, I'm sure Emory does a couple of programs that is there anything that you would recommend somebody say, hey, you want to play around? What would they do though? Where would they go or
So
anything you
I
would
think,
recommend?
yeah, the good thing is there's a lot of content online.
Yep.
That is, I mean, people, if you were to search on YouTube, you can find information on Zapier. There's a lot of like courses being offered that are actually low cost that you can enroll. Like if you go to Zapier, you're going to talk about learning and you're going to probably find some online course, which will be like 40, $50 that
Okay.
you will help you build these agents very quickly as well. Uh, I mean, if you are in
Or they'll look
college,
for you and
yes,
attend your program, right?
of course. I mean, so there is Emory runs a lot of different programs. If you're a student at Emory, I mean, you're in good hands. So
Yeah.
we
Okay,
teach
great.
building these agents in our classroom in one course. Like for my Example, my course, I teach about building these agents in 1 week, right? 2 class sessions,
1
and my
week.
students in 1 week. Because now you don't need sophisticated tech knowledge.
Coding language or anything else.
Yeah,
right?
it's very, very easy these days.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've got a little bit of insight here to the future. The future is here. And one of the big parts of it is AI agents. Rajiv, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I know you are helping a lot of people and executives all around the world, and they come over and learn from you. Maybe at some point after you publish your paper, you can come back on and share more about this whole world of agents.
Thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.